Welcome, everybody. We are joined here with one of our 10K club members from the Seller Pro Academy. Today, we're going to do a bit of an interview to find out what they did, how they did it, their plans for the future. So, first thing, welcome. Give us a little introduction, who you are, and how long you've been selling on Amazon.
Hi everyone, my name is Radu. I've been selling on Amazon for a few months now, around 3 months. Although I've launched the product about 2.5 months ago. I've started this course last year. I was made redundant. I was working for a company for about 7 years. I was made redundant, and this is basically what pushed me to do something else. And I had a look online. I've researched this properly, uh, seen some courses, and at the end decided to go with the Seller Pro Academy with
Oh,
Jonny.
yeah.
And I made the right decision. I'm very happy I've done this. Um, it's a very, very complex process, but you will get all the help you need throughout the way. You will get a lot of mentorship, a lot of motivation as well. So it's everything you need. It's a step-by-step guide. It's
You
very,
just
very,
you just
very
you're
detailed.
just bigging me up here. This is great. It's fantastic. But let's talk about
Well,
you.
it
Let's,
is. It was for me. Yes, it was for
yeah.
me. Yeah. So basically about me. So I had some health issues. I had some health issues caused by stress in general and lack of sleep.
And this
So
was this was when you were working your job. This was well, when? How long are
yes,
we talking ago?
yes, yes, yes. It started about 3 years ago and it lasted for 2 years. It stopped last year. It stopped after COVID,
Mm.
and it stopped when I didn't have to spend so much time commuting, and I've got basically less stress. Although I was made redundant, everything in a way turned out for me on the positive side, if you want,
Mm.
in better. And the biggest advantage was the health aspect. I've started getting more sleep, and I've noticed that that was the major impact. On top of that, it was the fact that I was stressed, not only with the type of work that I was doing and the environment, but also the thing that I was away from home for long periods of time because I was working in a different city. I had a good job. I was okay with it, but I was working in a different city, and altogether I was away from home for at least 10 hours a day, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on the traffic, it could have been 11 in some cases. So I also have a 2-year-old daughter. I have a wife. Uh, we're not well. We are foreigners. We have settled here after we graduated. We stayed in the same city. It's just the three of us here in this country. We have friends, but there's no other family, and it is hard. So you need to basically work everything out. You need to do the baby stuff. You need to do the home stuff. You need to do the basically business side of things and everything else. So it was stressful at times, and now I'm very, very happy where this got me. Uh, just to give you an example of how bad things were, I've ended up in hospitals. They put cameras down my throat. I ended up in a very, very high-tech hospital in London. Apparently, it's the only one in UK where they do that. I had cables through my nose and things like that. I had to keep the cables for at least 24 hours to gather some data. So yeah, it was bad,
Tough.
but now
Yeah.
it's all good. And it
Good.
was,
Good.
yeah, it was the stress and the sleep.
Yeah. And
And to be honest, that's what motivated me to get the product that I'm selling now. But we won't discuss about that. But
yeah.
it
So going
helped me a
back to
lot.
that, going back to the sleep thing. So obviously you're working really long hours. You also have family as well, and you want to spend time with them. And you're sacrificing your sleep, right? And that obviously affects everything, and it causes you more stress, and then as we know, stress causes physical issues, and that's, I guess, what hospitalized you in the end. How did you
Yes.
what was there a significant change that you made to get yourself out of that? Did you have that realization, or is it something that happened gradually over time? Like, how did you get out of that?
It did happen gradually over time, and it was a lot harder after the baby was born
Hmm.
because that changes everything. Not necessarily in a bad way, but you are not used to it. There's no book that tells you you need to do this and that and that. It's a baby. Everything is different. Every baby is different. The parents are different. It's a case by case scenario. So everything changed. So I had to adapt, and I found that at the beginning, at least in the early stages, there were loads more things to do. The baby was not sleeping throughout the night, so you couldn't sleep either. So even if I had 5, 6 hours of sleep, that was not the same sleep as before. The quality of sleep wasn't the same.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that's when things got worse.
Mm.
It was all together, but as you said, there's not enough time in a day to do everything you have to do. And
Definitely.
you then sacrifice sleep, which is not something I recommend. I do it now and then as well because, as I said, there's not enough time in a day, but I'm a lot more cautious about it.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously you've gone through this really stressful period, very demanding. When did the kind of Amazon side of things start? Because that's obviously adding on more to do, right? Anyone probably
So,
listening will be like, "How many?" You're saying, very very stressed, loads of things to do, not enough time in the day. So you're adding on something else, right? So how did that work?
so basically, what happened is uh, after COVID in March last year, I've started working from home and things started to get better gradually. I was taking, I don't know, 6 to 8 pills a day to ease the pain and everything I had. And that started to slowly get better, and I was taking less pills. Uh, Last summer, beginning of last summer, I heard that my boss, my manager from the engineering department, is being made redundant. And that told me from the very beginning that they are planning to get rid of the entire department, which will mean me as well. I was then furloughed,
Yeah.
and 2 months later, I was made redundant as well. But I've started when I knew my boss is being made redundant.
Right. So you had
That's
well
what
a
made
couple months to get learning and getting your foot in the door.
yes. I
Yeah.
was on yes. I was furloughed anyway after that, a month after. So basically they said you need to hand over. So he had to hand over stuff to me and my other colleague within the department. But actually I don't know why they've done that because, as I said, 2 months later, I was made redundant as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
To be honest, with you, they offered me another job in the company where I had to do almost all the things I was doing at the time and some of the things I was doing previously, but for a lot less money. And due to the fact that I was having a baby and the nursery, it's over £1,000 a month, plus the commuting and everything, it was not worth it. I said, knowing the health situation and knowing that I would be much better staying home and not having to commute and being away from home for so long, I said I'm better off without it. And it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me.
Good. Yeah, it was a great decision to make. It's definitely a scary time as well, especially when you've been dealing with so much stress and probably anxiety about the future, right? So with FBA, what was the reasons for you that you thought, this is something that I feel I can do?
So basically, throughout these 7 years when I've been working with this company, and also in the past, because I've worked in marketing for a year, a lot of time ago, 15 years ago or something like that. I've learned different things, and I knew this is something I can do. I'm very passionate. I have a very very keen eye, and I like details. So I knew this is something I can do. I realized there will be a lot of work. I understand there is nothing in this world that will give you a lot of reward and doesn't take time and hard work, because those things are not rewarding. Anyone could do them and they won't bring you joy, and they are not rewarding. So I realized there's a lot of hard work, and it was, but I was willing to do it because I wanted to create something, to create my own business, to be my own boss, and make sure that I will succeed.
Okay,
I was
cool.
very driven.
Yeah.
And you need to be driven, because throughout this journey, there will be different setbacks. There will be obstacles. You need to make sure you know where you want to be and where you want to get, and overcome them.
Yeah, 100%. I think in any business, that's the mindset you need to go in with. First of all, there's two parts to that. Yes, it takes time. Nothing great happens overnight, except winning the lottery maybe, but still might have to have done it for 20 years before you win it. And
Exactly.
the second thing is dealing with a bit of ambiguity and understanding that there's going to be ups and downs, and things are going to go right, things are going to go wrong. There's going to be times where you're like, oh, what do I do? But that's part of having the high reward of having a business, right? You don't get that high reward without some of the stress and some of the issues, right? So let's kind of fast forward to kind of developing the product and getting ready to actually launch, or actually not actually getting ready to buy the products, because I think that's one of the things that are, it's like probably one of the most stressful things that you get to. That's probably the thing you put off the most as well. So what was going through your mind at that point? How did you manage that? Did you just kind of do it straight away, or did you think about it for a bit? What was going through your mind?
So in the early stages, that's definitely the process that brings you a lot of, I wouldn't say hassle, but uh, you won't know exactly where you're heading, because you need to do the research, and then you need to see what works and what doesn't. So obviously, I went through the course, I followed all the steps, then I have emailed you
Mm-hmm.
with a
Yeah.
few products. We discussed about that, and I've decided on the one that I'm selling now. So uh, I've done all the due diligence. I've followed the steps in the course, and that got me to a few products. Then I've discussed with you, and although the one I'm selling now was not the first one on the list, due to the health issues I've had in the past, I still wanted to go with this one, because I said if there's something that can help you with sleep and stress, I want to do it, because I've been there, I had these issues, and I know how painful it is to to be there. So I
I think
wanted that product.
that's really important to have that. There's always going to be some people will go for something that they just want to get the numbers there, or there's a lot of people that want to go for, I'm interested in this, I want to build it into a brand, and I'm passionate about it. And I think what you find with people that do that, that have a little bit more passion for those products, they put more time into it, it means more to them. But ultimately, you understand the customer, right? Because you've been, well, you are a customer. You would buy the product to help solve your particular problems or needs. And I think that is really important for when you're not only doing your research for a product, but developing it and launching it and running it, is having the empathy for the customer, and being in their shoes is something that I think people should do. So, if there's people watching, hopefully, that they're doing product research, they've got a few product ideas. Let's say they have 3 product ideas and they've got the numbers sorted. These are kind of all good ideas. Go with the one that you just think about most, right? What's the one that you think about straight away? What's the one where you have the most ideas? What's the one you've got the most experience in? It's probably best to go with that one, even if it's going to be harder, or even if the numbers aren't quite adding up the same as the others, because you have more passion for it, you have more empathy for the customers, it's probably going to be more successful because of you, right? Not because of the metrics or the numbers, it's because of you're the common denominator to make everything work. So that's fantastic that you got to that point. You've been able to leverage your experiences in the past, and going forward to the future to build that. What happened when you got your first sale? Like, talk us through that process. So your products, you've ordered them, you've had them shipped into the UK. At this point, are you
I
worried? Are you
Yes,
having like, oh, is it going to work? Like, what's going to happen?
I I was worried because I have a complete bundle. So basically, I don't just sell that product. I have something that others don't, and I have multiple colors within the bundle. I have a complete solution which is different from everyone else. Obviously, because of this, because of the unique factor, our products are costing me a lot more than others, than the competitors, because when you get different colors within the same product, you order less amount of material. Ordering less amount increases the cost.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's more difficult for them because they also need to know on this face we need to put that, on the other face is the other thing. So I went for the top of the top of quality. Basically, we in a way we cater for the high end.
Do you remember kind of getting those first few initial sales from real customers?
I do remember. I do remember. Trust me, I'm looking at them. I do remember. I do remember, and I was very very satisfied and very proud. Um, at the beginning, when we started, we had a voucher discount. Then we removed that. Um, Now with the basically with everything we explained that's happening in the UK, we do have a voucher, but it's not the same as the beginning. It's a lot less than that.
So your launch strategy,
But
let's just dissect that a little bit before you move on. So your launch strategy at the beginning, you added a voucher to your listing. To was it quite a big voucher, like percentage, or how did you?
it was 20. It was 20%, and that
Okay,
will be the biggest we'll ever do. Yeah,
yeah. So it's
it was
quite a
twenty
large
percent.
discount. Yeah.
Yes, it was in the very early stages when we started selling on Amazon before doing the product launch. When we started doing the product launch with the PPC and everything, we removed that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then, as I said, in March, it went well without the voucher, without um, something else. And then April was bad. But there's nothing we can do. It was bad all over
Exactly.
the place.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, April was a very, very bad month personally as well. I've lost my grandfather who raised me, and due to COVID, I was not able to see him for the past 2 years, and I was extremely disappointed. So yes, it was a very, very
Sorry,
hard
man.
month for me. But yeah, yeah, thank you. But yes,
I mean,
hopefully
it's
that's helped.
important, to understand and realize this. Just today, there's a video going out on my channel. If you haven't watched it, guys, go and check it out. It's a kind of a podcast about an hour long, um, like video I did with Matt from the group, right? You know Matt.
Yes.
Um, and we were talking about mental health and these sorts of things. Like April for me again wasn't wasn't great. Now, I'm feeling the same pain as everyone else, and I think it's important to be able to talk about these things and understand, especially what you said at the beginning of the call about the issues you have with sleep and health. Those are real things that a lot of people have, and I think it's really important. And I think I thank you for being open and honest and sharing it with everyone, because I think it will actually help some people watching to understand that everyone goes through the same things, right? It's keeping your mindset in the right place is hard, right? You always have that pull of family, relationships, your own housing and security, and now you're adding on work and business. But hopefully, this is all going to be going up from now, right? It should be getting better. Historically, I always think August is the worst month of the year, right? Whenever I've looked back in the past, August, everyone's on holiday. Now, who knows if that's going to be like that this year? Maybe not. Maybe April is our August, and we should just expect it and
I
be like, you know what? Let's just move on. And okay, this is just what life is now.
Yes, I hope April was the worst month. And just to get back on something you said, I think being positive is the most important thing in this. It's not about the money. Yes, you'll need some more money for the stock to restock and all that, but you will get there. That's not an issue. Being positive and making sure you know where you want to end up, and you will do everything, you'll be focused and driven to get there and overpass any issues that might come throughout the way. That is the most important thing here, from my
Yeah,
point of view.
I definitely think so. It's having that positive mindset is so influential on the actions you take every day. You know, if you wake up and you're in a negative mindset, I mean, sometimes there's not much you can do about it. It might be a bad situation that you're going through, but we all know that that affects every moment of our lives, right? And trying to find moments of positivity, I think, is really, really, really important. And even little things like if you're working on your business and you have a to-do list, and let's say you've got 10 things to do, but you only do 5. Let's be positive that you did 5 rather than negative that you didn't do the 5, right? I think it's just a way of looking at things that really helps your own, state of mind when you're doing things that are stressful. Is focus on the positive. So that's really, really great advice. Really great advice.
It's true. Yes, my motto in life, nothing to do with the company, is always look at the bright side of things.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. I think you do that really well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And you asked me about the first product. So I was extremely happy with the first product. I was extremely happy with the organic sales and everything. But, and I'm not joking, on my birthday, I received this. This didn't happen on my birthday because reviews happened before, but then Amazon decides to hold them and check them, and so
this is about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a week ago.
It's 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, okay. 3 weeks ago. So on my birthday, on the listing, I've got a new review from a person who left it about a week ago, a week before that. And that review made my day.
Really?
She was extremely happy. She said she's thankful we are here and we've done this. And she's grateful for that because our product is unique and helped her so much. And she can't express her gratitude for what we've done.
That makes it worthwhile, doesn't it?
Yes,
it really does. I think that's the thing that especially when you're selling on Amazon, because you don't really have that direct, communication with the customer. Everything's dealt with through Amazon. So sometimes you don't have that communication. So it takes a customer to go out their way to leave a review or to email you to let them know how you feel. And it's so nice when you get those messages. You have that feeling of all of that hard work, it pays off when you have that gratitude or you feel that you've affected someone else's life in a positive way. And this is what I feel when I do these interviews. Is I feel like I feel that gratitude for you taking action and for you putting in that effort to help other people. So it's a really nice kind of circle of life that we're going through. That
it is.
If we can focus on that, when you're doing your products, and this is speaking to everyone watching, when you're doing your products and you're doing your product research, you're thinking about how can I create a complete solution? How can I create an irresistible product offer? It's really about how can I help people? How can I enrich their lives? How can I make them have a good experience with your brands? Go that extra mile, because those are the things that make a difference. You could sell your same product and you could not put the effort in, but you probably won't get those same messages because they'll know that you don't care. They'll just be like, it just turns up in a horrible Amazon box. There's nothing, there's no branding, there's no this, that, and the other. And people won't care to reach out to you. So it's important, do what you've done, do what all of the success stories do in the academy, put that extra effort in, because you're going to be rewarded with that, it's not a physical payment that you're getting, right? You're getting an emotional payment, right? And it's going into your kind of emotional bank account as such, and you're saving that, and that's what kind of drives you forward and pushes you forward. So I would implore everyone to really focus on that as one of the driving forces of why they're creating a brand, is to focus on helping customers get whatever it is they want from buying that product, and more, right? And do as much as you can to do that. What about when you hit that 10K?
I was very proud.
Yeah,
I was very proud. It took me a while. My aim was to do this in the early stages of April, but obviously it didn't happen. It happened. Just a few weeks later. I knew I would get there because I've started seeing where it goes. So it wasn't a matter of if I get there; it was a matter of when I'll be getting there. I couldn't say I had a target as such. but I had something in mind. April came in, didn't happen when I was planning it to happen, but I don't mind.
Okay,
It is what
fantastic.
it is.
So what about the future though? Because obviously what we mostly see is, at the beginning it's the slowest to get going, right? Because you've got no reviews, you've got no history, you've got no BSR, you've got no data. So what are you thinking for the rest of the year? Do you have a target for maybe the end of the year? What you want to be doing? Stock,
I I
assuming
have a
stocks.
target.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a target, and I'm planning to restock as well in the next few months. So that will happen. I'm also looking into other products as well. I've got another sample from China this week,
Hmm.
last week. So that one should arrive probably in a week or so. So I'm looking in other areas as well. I'm also in touch with two other companies from my home country that do some other products. Um, Nothing to do with the one I'm selling now, but it's still to do with basically help helping people,
Mm.
uh, helping
Good.
them.
Yeah.
Uh, so yes, I
Awesome.
have a few things planned. I'm not sure exactly what everything will get me in terms of figures, if you want a certain figure, because as I
Let's
said, I
let's
have
set a
achieved
target. Let's set
figures
a
in
target,
them before, and yeah, yeah,
and then in a year's time we'll
yeah,
do
the
another
target.
interview and we'll see what happens. I mean the target can be anything.
Uh, I'm I'm sure at the end of the year I'll probably do at least 30 to 50K at least.
Hmm.
I don't think before the end of this year I will achieve 100K, but that will 100% happen next year.
Hmm. Perfect. Okay. Well then we'll do another interview when you get to 100 in September. No, I was just kidding. That's amazing. And I think how did you find, or how do you think you'll find the process of doing the future products compared to the first product? Because obviously the first one you're learning, a huge amount at the same time. Do you feel a lot more confident?
100% it will be much easier, and I am a lot more confident because obviously I went through a lot. You notice, you know it from the group, especially with Amazon.
Hmm.
So seller support, it's a nightmare. Took me over 2 months to fix something with them. The
Yeah.
amount of time I spent on the phones and with emails with Amazon was crazy.
But what should you do
So I,
instead, Radu? Instead of speaking with
what
seller support?
what I've done, I've contacted Anne. That's what I've done.
Yeah. So, and
So
who
I've
is that? For
contacted
anyone that
her.
for anyone that doesn't know
So
who that is, who is that?
yeah, so and she's the Amazon FBA specialist with the Seller Pro Academy. So she worked with Amazon for many years. Now she works with us as a consultant. So basically, when you can't get anywhere with Amazon, and trust me, I've tried this without her help at the beginning because I said, look, there's an issue. Let me fix it.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. And I at Amazon, and she managed to get it fixed. Uh, well, through her, Amazon managed to get it fixed because we knew she told me what to ask them to do and who to contact and things like that. She
Amazing.
couldn't do it herself because it was a back end issue at Amazon with their website, with their
Yeah.
um,
Let
database,
me just
basically.
recap that because you broke up a little bit, but obviously I know the story. So what happened was, you were having a problem with Amazon, so which happens, right? Sometimes things go wrong, and yours was a technical issue that happens. But the problem is that a lot of Amazon support staff really do not know they just have no idea what they're doing, right? They're reading an FAQ or whatever. So this is why in the academy we have Anne, we call her an FBA specialist. She worked at Amazon for about 5 years as a specialist at FBA. So she's not, you know, the entry level seller support people. Really knows what she's talking about. So after a while, getting frustrated trying to do it yourself, you contact her, and she goes, "Okay, cool. This is what you need to do. Email this people or get on the phone and ask for this team, and say this to them, and then this should be resolved." And I've had this a few times with her where I've been pulling out my hair, going, "Oh my god, why can't they just give me a straight answer? Why can't they just tell me what's wrong?" And then you go to her and you go, "Okay, say this to these people, and then it'll get sorted." And then magically, within a few hours, everything's sorted. So, I mean, is, you know, that alone, I say, is one reason to join the academy. Even if you're an existing seller, like that can save you, I mean, thousands, thousands and thousands and thousands. In my case, when I had a really big issue, it was probably about £80,000 worth of stock that was saved. And for you, again, it was, you know, it was quite a big issue that that affects everything, right?
It does,
So I
yeah.
think having people in your corner, having a community of people, you know, is really important. So yeah, my last question is, what is your advice that you'd give to someone that is either looking to start or currently starting, maybe trying to find, you know, a product and getting through to actually launching on Amazon? So what's your advice for them?
You know, first of all, people are asking me if the market is now saturated. There's no such thing. It's growing and growing and growing. Yes. So it's not saturated. So if you want to do this and if you are driven, just do it. Don't have second thoughts. Do it because it's very, very rewarding. It will bring you money, but it will also bring you freedom. And if you want to do it, if you decided you want to do it, just realize that it is a complex process. It's something you need to do yourself. We'll teach you, we'll show you everything you need to do. We'll be there. Well, the academy will be there step by step, and us, the community, throughout the Facebook group, will be with you step by step. We'll help you. You'll get the support you need, but you need to do it yourself. You can't do it without any support, without any guidance, because the amount of steps you have to follow, um, it's great. It's a large amount of steps. It's very complex, and if you make something wrong, it's important you start with the proper guidance and with the proper team alongside yourself.
Nice.
And that's what the Seller Pro Academy offers. And I've personally used all the resources available and all the support this academy offers. And I know it's very, very helpful and handy to have that there.
No, see, basically saying, let's summarize that because again, it broke up a little bit. I think we know what you're saying. Take action, right? Be action orientated. If you want to do it, understand that it's going to be hard work. It's going to take you time.
Yes.
Right? It can get you money, but it also can reward you in other ways through, you know, other gratification methods rather than just monetary. And then I guess the third bit of advice would be have that community, leverage support, and don't go it alone, because it's going to be way harder to take action and get to that point where you're successfully selling without, you know, people behind you and people to talk to. Fair?
100%, yes.
Nice, fantastic, cool. Now, if anyone has any questions for Radu, then ping them down in the comments. And there's, again, always things that I don't ask, forget to ask. We're not on here for too long. Ping them down in the comments, and yeah, hopefully you can answer a few over the next kind of couple of weeks or so. If you do want to apply to join the academy, highly recommend doing that, of course. And you can do that. Link in the description. There's an application. You have to fill out some questions. You pick a time, get on a call, and we'll discuss, you know, what we do, how we do it differently, and if you want to, we can discuss enrolling and getting you signed up to the academy as well. But that's all by application only. If we cancel your application, it's most of the time because you didn't fill it out correctly. So go ahead and do that. If you want to watch any more videos, we've got a whole bunch of videos like with people like Radu, loads of success stories that you can go through and look at the playlists. And yeah, make sure you're subscribed with your notifications turned on. Thank you for watching. And yeah, thank you, Radu, for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for everything, John.
Nice one.